in hot, Casey, on a Thursday. What's up, brother?
Wait, say boom again. You said it and you muted yourself kind of because you leaned in and scared your phone.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Yeah, do it.
Boom, coming in hot, Casey. What's going on, bro? Did that land or no?
It did it again. I think when you yell, your phone gets scared. That's fine.
All right, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Ready?
You're doing it again? Okay, do it again.
Boom.
That
Coming
worked.
in hot today, G.I. Joe's the third boom, and for some reason it's muting my boom.
You know what though? We were both fired up this morning. We're talking. I love doing a show with you, man, and I know you do too. But
Me too, bro.
I'll give you an apology right off the bat. At this point, me wearing this hat is just an insult to you because what fans don't know is part of the reason he's the mayor is obviously because he's just so nice to everybody. And he's got this great T-shirt designing guy. He's got a great hat designing guy, and he gets all this swag and whatever. And then him and Sarah's the nicest person in the world. They're just shooting T-shirts and hats all across the country. And Sean told me yesterday, he's like, man, I love that hat. It's my favorite one. I don't have any left. And I'm like, yeah. You don't even say, dude, I have 6 mayor's office hats just thrown around this house. I could do it next Christmas. Maybe I'll just put mayor's office hats on the Christmas tree and make that decorations. You got to keep your stuff, man. You can't give everything away. Save
dude.
Number one.
Well, no, it's on me, dude. I had a couple. I can't find them. I'm a jagoff. Although I did give a couple away to Jake's buddies a couple years ago during his summer league team. But I saw JD has one of those and you have one. So 2 of my favorite people still have it. So
okay.
And my buddy Carmen wears it too. My buddy owns Cachita Bella. He wears that too. So I got three people in my life that I love wear it. Makes me feel good. Yeah.
It's a great hat. Yeah. It's like a little.
Yeah, it's a great hat, dude. It's a great hat. Running for the storm, baby. Running for the storm every day.
What is it? A bull? Is that like a bull?
Well, no, it's supposed to be a buffalo. It's a buffalo.
Oh, buffalo. I wouldn't notice that if I were not doing this right now. Yeah,
it looks like a bull.
Maybe we should get more made and do some giveaways with them. They're great hats, folks.
Yeah, no, they're great.
Or instead of giveaways, maybe we can sell them and make $5 once in a while. Anyway.
Yeah.
So our prep normally is just like, hey, you know, we text each other in the morning. We're having our morning coffee and we just start giving each other some ideas. You had a great one this morning. You were like, you know what? Can you send me the tracker for the Baseball Hall of Fame? And I was like, oh yeah, that's coming up. So we look at it, and here's what we got. Beltray, 98.8%. Mauer, 83%. Helton, 82.5%. Billy Wagner, 80.1%. And then I get angry. Sheffield is at 74.3. Andruw Jones is at 72.5. So I'm kind of looking at my notes and stuff. And so I just like tweeted it out. And I said, explain to me why Gary Sheffield and Andruw Jones have to grind this thing out. Absurdity. They are Hall of Famers. But so I'm going to talk Sheffield, and then I think you got some thoughts on Andruw Jones too. But so very cool. One of my favorite guys on the old internet, Gary Sheffield Jr. His son responded, and he said, if either was as likable to our media as David Ortiz, I bet you wouldn't be having this discussion right now. So I just like playfully responded. By the way, Gary Sheffield Jr. is a great follow. He's honest and cool. And I go, well, I like your dad. And he wrote back, you got to be liked by everyone to win prom king, which is a pretty funny line. It's a good line. But Sheffield, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Jason Stark just came out with his literally 5 minutes before the show. He's got Sheffield on there. Props to Jason Stark, who's he's one of the guys that takes it super seriously and great. Like, right. How much long? I don't know what I can tee you up on because I already know your answer. Sheffield's a famer, man.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Here we are at the 10th year, and Sheffield's at, looks like he's going to probably miss it. When you see it's 74% right now with still over 50% of the ballots to go in. I just think it's a an injustice to baseball. Like, this guy's 500 home runs, has more 292 career hitter, was the most feared hitter in the game for years. You know, when there was a lot of, you know, big time hitters, you know, for anyone that says, you know, I love one thing I love about Steph and that I love about Chef and the steroid stuff. When he's vehemently denied anything, and also the one point that he makes is, look at my body. My body's never changed,
Right.
and my numbers never fluctuated. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That's one thing for me. I played with Shep in 2007. One of my favorite teammates ever. I mean, dude, playing against him, he was always so feared. He hit the ball harder than anyone I've ever played against. And like I think I told this story. We talked to Dunner about the one time Sheffield hit that ball to left.
Yeah.
And we were in Atlanta. He skipped off the ground, hit Dunner in the shoulder, and ended up, you know, looked like Dunner was playing in third. So I don't know, man. I guess, you know, I know voting is not easy. It's not easy to be a voter, but for me, if you really look at it, you know, and Shep wasn't loved by the media, but Shep
Right.
was loved in the clubhouses by the guys he played with. And I think
Well,
that's the most important thing. And, you know, if you're looking at this whole thing, you know, it's a shame that if Shep doesn't get in, I think that's a real shame to the game.
Yeah. And the last time we talked about this, I brought this up that I was kind of proud of. Jim Leland loves Gary Sheffield. Larry Boa loves Gary Sheffield. I have seen both of those men not love people, and you see what happens if Jim Leland and Larry Boa do not love you. You better run for the hills. The testament to that's character. That's character. Neither of those two guys will say anything unless they really believe it and go over the top. Okay, that's part one. The second part, you say his body never changed. The other thing about him was people forget that he wasn't like the jacked, like clogging up your DH guy. He came up as a shortstop, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's Doc Gooden's like nephew godson. Like he
No, he's Doc Gooden's his uncle.
His uncle. Dude, how's your pedigree? Like he was born a baseball player. He didn't inject anything into himself to become a baseball player. And he was the best on every team. And we said this again the other day. He played in the NL East. He played in the NL West. He played in the AL East. Every year he's going up against guys he's never faced in his life. And it's 280 to 305, 30 to 50 homers, 100 to 130 RBIs. Go look at his stats. What are we doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
know. I love your I love your passing change because I feel the same way.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're in agreement there. Now, Andruw Jones, I brought him up to you today, and you were like, "Man, well, just go." You got.
I said something last night on the network. You know, obviously sometimes you don't clarify your point, but my point was when you're playing against certain guys, you know who the Hall of Famers are. Gary Sheffield's one of them. But Andruw Jones, dude, and for maybe for understanding when you're in the box and you're trying to hit those gaps and you're trying to, if you're not hitting the gaps, you're trying to get something that falls in front of those outfielders. You know, Andruw Jones, where he played, you know, center field, he played so shallow because he could go back so well. It was like almost like you couldn't get anything by him, dude. You could crush a ball in the gap, he'd hunt it down. You could bloop one over the infielder's head, he'd hunt it down. It was incredible. He covered so much real estate. It was absolutely unbelievable. And you know, I was making a point last night on the network saying I believe that he's the best center fielder ever. And I meant that in defensively, right? I mean,
yes,
defensively, like you obviously Willie Mays and Ken Griffey Jr. are probably the two best center fielders ever.
Right.
Right. I mean, because of their hitting and their defense.
Yeah.
But and obviously they won gold. You know, Griffey I think won 12 or 13 Gold Gloves, and Mays did too, or whatever. But when you go back and look at Andruw Jones for a 10-year period, there, dude, he was. Like I said, I feel like to throw Torrey Hunter in that category too. Like
I love that.
I'd like to see him start trending upward too.
I love that. Love it.
Go look at his numbers. You know, he's one of only 5 center fielders to have 350 home runs and win 10 Gold Gloves or whatever. But like I said, man, when you look at that list, I believe it's 400 home runs, and 10 Gold Gloves. Check it out, Chase. I believe it's Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., Andruw Jones, and one other guy. There's one other guy on that list. And
I got it.
yeah.
400 plus home run. Okay, here, that goes right to your point, because those are the only three outfielders. The guy you're forgetting is understandable because it's Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt. Okay, Mike
position,
Schmidt.
Different category. Different
And
category.
also,
You're right.
Andruw Jones has the greatest WAR, wins above replacement at like 24, something like that, of any outfielder of all time. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, I never saw Willie Mays play in person. Obviously, Griff was, and Griff would say it too. In Cincinnati, obviously, he was banged up, so he wasn't the guy in Seattle. So Griff was unbelievable too. He was incredible. Like,
Right.
Junior's one of the best center fielders of all time. Obviously, I'm saying from watching Andruw Jones and coming up with him in the minors and playing against him, knowing how tough it was as a hitter when you looked out there and saw him because he got everything, and then looking at his numbers, I believe, in my opinion, he's the best defensive center fielder of all time,
Right.
and maybe outfielder of all time defensively, with the pedigree of the home runs and having some really incredible years out there in Atlanta. So I think with all that going, how's he not in Cooperstown already? This is his 7th year. Like, when I look at obviously there's a lot of guys on those ballots, but it's tough to pick 10. But I don't know, man. It's hopefully he's not going to get in this year, but hopefully he gets in next year, and we don't look at it as another Gary Sheffield thing where we're at year 10 and he's off the ballot.
Yeah, and the people forget this, but don't forget he almost single-handedly beat the 1996 Yankees at 19 years old. Remember, he was hitting bombs all at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Dude, I hated him. Him, but I loved him.
Dude, a few months earlier, I was on the Carolina League All-Star team with him.
Right. Yeah.
In 1996, and then I go back to Richmond for my senior year, and he's in the World Series, and everyone's like, "Who's Andruw Jones?" I'm like, "I just was on the All-Star team with this guy 2 months ago."
That's crazy. That's crazy. And hey, folks, like, I can speak to this at like a lower level, because I remember when you're in high school, it's like, hey, when you get to college, it's going to be a little different. Like that ground ball to short that you always beat out, that's not going to be hit anymore because these guys are a little better. Then I'm sure the same applies to when you get to the minor leagues. Everybody's a little step quicker. Sean Casey, who's arguably the best gap hitter of his generation, just said that there's a center fielder who he didn't want that guy in center field because he was taking away Sean Casey hits. Sean Casey liners in the gaps, both sides. It's like, oh man, that guy's out there right now. That's a definition of a Hall of Famer. When Sean Casey, who's going to hit 300, he's going to go 2 for 4 today, is now going to go 1 for 4 because Andruw Jones is going to be in playing rover like a softball team and cutting off all his line drives and diving and making plays. Never got hurt diving for a ball. The guy dove for a lot of balls, never hit his wrist, never did anything like that. And listen, look, Griffey was a great center fielder, but Griffey hurt himself being a great center fielder. Andruw Jones, it always looked easy. I think that might be hurting him a little. Those guys, like I played with this guy, Damian DeLeste, in high school football, and the coaches always yelled at him because he looked like he was lazy, but he was just so smooth that he would always finish first or second in the sprints, but like it looked like he wasn't making an effort. And I think Andruw Jones was like that. Andruw Jones, the game looked so freaking easy to him. It really did. You agree?
No, I agree. He made it look so easy. I appreciate the comment, Chitz, but for all the guys, I'm saying
it's true.
Not just me. There was so many good hitters in that generation. Like, go to John Smoltz' induction speech. The one guy he names is Andruw Jones. Thank you so much, Andruw Jones. I mean, Maddox, Glavine, all those guys. You went up the middle. All those Braves teams. A big reason they won is because Andruw Jones was in center field.
Yeah.
So
John Smoltz is like 2.7 ERA, probably would have been 3.2 with a crappy center fielder. Think about it. Like how much that guy. So if you're going to literally have professional baseball players going to the yard, looking at your, saying that guy in center field is gonna take away a hit from me today. You are a Hall of Famer. like, I don't
Yeah,
know what you can
yeah.
say. And the
Well,
Sheffield thing,
but also offensively, and there's a lot
yes,
of great defensive, players out there. I also think like if uh, Andruw Jones also for me, you think of Bill Mazeroski
yeah,
with the second baseman for the Pirates who really got in because of defense. Well, if
right.
guys are getting in because of defense, well then he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
right. Well, yeah, that's why I love what you said about Torrey Hunter. I always go back to this comp. If Ozzie Smith is in a Hall of Fame, I get it that shortstop is probably shortstop and catcher are kind of the most different positions on the field of play than the other positions. But center field is imperative. It's huge. It means a lot. You mentioned Torrey Hunter. I just want to pull this up because I love him too. For in the American League, he was the best defensive center fielder when
No,
it wasn't even close. Go just Google Torrey Hunter robbing home runs. End of story.
right,
It's the
right.
greatest highlight reel in baseball history. Here's his career numbers. 19 years, Sean. 19 years on average, 162 game average, 277, 24 homers, 95 RBIs, and 13 stolen bases. And that's 19 years. He was stealing at 39 years old. He stole 2 bases. Like, and had 22
How many bases did he steal for his career?
for his career. He had 195 stolen bases. Okay.
Right.
39 triples. Okay. 498 doubles. 1,391 RBIs. Let's see. On base for the entire career. 331. Dude, he was the best defensive center fielder, but he's giving you 24 and 95 every year. For
Yeah.
years. I love that you brought him up because I don't think we appreciate Torrey Hunter. And again, obviously, if you're not appreciating Andruw Jones, you're not going to appreciate Torrey Hunter because Andruw Jones is overall better than Torrey Hunter, I think, but not every year. I don't know. I love it. I love this conversation.
Torrey Hunter was special.
Yeah.
He was so special, man. Just the way he played, man, it was incredible. I came up with Torrey too. See, these are guys I came up in the minors with. Like, I played
This
against
is your
Torrey.
generation.
Yeah, 97. He was in New Britain, AA. That team was Torrey Hunter, Big Poppy.
Oh yeah.
His name was David Arias then, though.
Yeah,
It was kind of weird. Yeah, but David Arias. I want to say.
There were other guys on there. The pitcher, tall, great ambassador for the game, LaTroy Hawkins. Right?
Yeah, LaTroy. No, and also Corey Kosky was the third baseman.
Yes.
I think I want to say Mankiewicz came up at some point.
No, that whole
they just were loaded back then, dude.
The only reason they were not a World Series team a couple of years is because the Yankees were such a buzzsaw. They would, that division was the Twins for 5-6 straight years. Big time.
Yeah. They had so many good players.
Remember they
How
got
about I mean going into that for a second? How about Tom Kelly not thinking David Ortiz was a good defender, so he kind of platooned him here and there. Like, come on, Tom, you missed that one. TK, get a hold of yourself.
There's a story out there. I remember him doing it on one of my shows, but it's out there. He said it a number of times. And Pedro has a story about giving up a bomb to David Arias or whatever. I think it might have been Ortiz.
It was David Ortiz. He was David Ortiz when he got to the big leagues.
Yeah. He gave up a bomb to him, and he went immediately into the clubhouse and called like the owners of the Red Sox and was like, why is this guy needs to be on my team? I need him on my team. Nobody can hit me like that. He's great. And that Ortiz has mentioned a little bit that like Pedro was like a big recruiter for him to go to the Red Sox.
Yeah, he's the reason he got there. I mean, they let him go. I mean, the Twins released him.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, dude. It's unbelievable. Imagine that guy. Hold on.
And then when Big Poppy got to Boston in 2003, he wasn't even starting every day. He was platooning.
I know. Yeah, who was? Oh man, I forgot the other guy.
Was it Millar? Was he platooning with Millar? Or?
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think he was.
So it's 2003. Boston Red Sox is when he got there.
Yeah.
Let's see,
you'll see at the beginning. He does not play in every game.
Yeah, let's see. Well, Kevin Millar played 148 games and David Ortiz only played 128 games. By the way, he just snuck in 31 homers and 100 RBI, 101 RBIs that year, hitting 288.
And those big hits in the 03 playoffs and stuff. I know they
Yeah,
didn't win, but
dude, his numbers are unbelievable.
dude, when I saw him at Double A when he came up in New Britain, I was like,
when he was
yeah,
Arias,
Ortiz, he was Arias, yeah, but he was crushing balls to left center, and I was like, who is this? Like that's that one moment again. You're like, who is this? It's the same feeling I had with Andruw Jones in '96. I hit a ball in Kinston, North Carolina, a line drive over the shortstop's head into the gap, dude. And I'm like, oh, that's a. I mean, I've hit that ball a million times. That's a double every day of the week. And Andruw Jones makes a diving play in the gap deep, and I'm like, who is this?
who is that?
The same moment. It's the same
That's
thought I
cool.
had with Dave when David Ortiz came up at Double A.
Yeah.
In Akron, he hit a ball left center, crushed one. I go, who's this guy? You know?
Yeah, dude, bro. Do you know I was there. I was at New Britain Rock Cats, bro.
New Britain, yeah, dude.
Dude, working at ESPN, I'm gonna tell everybody this. Listen, no offense to the town of Bristol, Connecticut. There's some lovely people in there. There's really not much to do. So we would go to New Britain and we would just go to Rock Cats games and just pound some beers and see how hard we could throw the ball.
Yeah.
I love minor league baseball. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
That was my first ejection ever was there at New Haven.
Real the New go gun waving New Haven. Wow. The New Haven
New Haven.
I forget who they are, but yeah, New Haven had a team too.
Yeah.
The New Haven Stadium was better than the Rock Cat Stadium than the other one. But dude, we used to call it gun waving New Haven because whenever we would go out in New Haven, like fights would happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that where Yale is?
Dude, yes, it is. Yes. Dude, I will tell you this is a cool, super random story. New Haven is one of the hubs of music from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and whatever. Because if a big band was coming up and they were just making it, they would have they would do Boston and they would do New York. What's right in the middle? Middletown.
New Haven.
Yeah, New Haven. So, dude, there's this place called Toads in New Haven. And it's like a big bar, you know, that's kind of almost the bars that are almost like a warehouse and you can just kind of walk into different rooms, but it's all open air kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dude, the Doors played Toads in New Haven. Everybody, Billy, like you would make your bones and get fans in New Haven so that you could play in Boston, so that you can play in Manhattan. Dude, I saw great bands in gun waving New Haven. But also when the Rock Cats, the cool thing when the Rock Cats were when I was seeing them as a kid at ESPN, you know who I don't know if he was a first base coach or the third base coach of the Rock Cats was? John Crook. And then I wound up working with him.
Oh, no way. Get out of here. Crook was coaching in the minors?
He got into coaching a little bit. I think he wanted to be a manager, and I think he was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's the same way. You know how it is. You know how it is.
It's a grind in the big leagues, let alone when you're chartering everyone and getting 3 meals a day. In the minors, you get like, hey, here's some celery sticks with some peanut butter on top that the trainer put together.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Watertown, New York, my first year in A-ball.
Watertown.
You get $850 a month. Poverty level for 5 months.
Yeah,
$850 a month for 5 months. That's poverty level.
Right.
Obviously, that's
right.
$4,500 a month.
And you were walking in the building. You were walking in the building with fake polo shirts, so it's not like you had a
I had fake polo shirts growing up. Exactly. I really couldn't buy polo shirts then, but dude, I remember Nick Paparesta, who was our trainer in Watertown, New York, used to like after BP. He'd be like, hey, get the get the spread. It was like saltine crackers, soup, and I swear to God, and celery sticks and peanut butter on them. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Just dump a bunch of chunky soups into a
that's what you guys ate. Mark Shapiro, who was the head of the minor league at the time, was ahead of the curve. We used to get like this Gatorade shake and a Gatorade bar, which I know in other organizations, they probably still don't have that. So 1995 in the minors, Mark Shapiro was ahead of the curve as far as like trying to get some nutrition in you.
That's funny. That's interesting. Now he's the man. That's funny. Like, I always like the guys who kind of came up in the minor leagues with you guys. You know who another guy like that is? Not very many announcers are like this. Matt Vasgersian used to ride the buses with the team in the minor leagues for the Brewers when he was trying to become he was their radio announcer. Little known fact.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
For years, he lived the same lifestyle you guys lived as minor leaguers. He was on the bus. He had no money. Well, he might have money. He's an LA guy. He might have been paying for the spreads back then. But anyway, funny story. All right, dude. What do you got coming? Today's you doing that interview today?
No, I'm doing a keynote speech tomorrow morning for my buddy's company. Yeah, Signers International. Or Signers Financial tomorrow morning. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Today,
you got all your notes? You got your notes? Did you write it out yet?
Got 1 million notes, dude. 10 million.
Dude,
I've been working.
Extremely impressive thing to see how you and Sarah work together, because Sarah's basically like your co-producer for the Breakthrough Pro. Jess were like, that's really cool because she's taking notes. She's doing like PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, she's doing our worksheets and stuff. Yeah, she's great, man. Sarah's awesome.
Man. You guys are a great team. All right. We'll go nail the interview or nail the keynote tomorrow.
Okay, brother. Love you, man. By the way, we got to figure out tomorrow's time. We'll talk.
Okay, we'll talk. Okay. Nobody wants to hear this right now.
Exactly. No one wants to hear this. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. You guys do what you got to do. We'll see you guys tomorrow at some point. Have a great day. All right, Jason. See you, man.